Nah, solid work. It's honestly solid work. But yeah, we can move on to this story and talk about a little bit of Capcom news. And well, your favorite franchise is back when that you haven't seen before in a while. Resident Evil. We've got some news about Resident Evil and some rumors that have been swirling around talking about Resident Evil 9 and potential implications of open world technology being used in the game. So there's been some insider reports that have been talking about, Dragon's Dogma 2's kind of, usage in the RE engine and how they've been applying, their stuff. Apparently, that kind of some of those functionalities and how that's been working for Dragon's Dogma 2 and the open world functions, it's being apparently built and experimented on in, the next Monster Hunter Wild game and Resident Evil 9. So there may be some type of open world component coming to Resident Evil as a franchise. How do you feel about this one?
Man, I think that's pretty dope. I love, and here's the thing. I just hated that every year the biggest announcement was a Resident Evil remake. But a Resident Evil 9, like of open world, could be kind of gas. Like, you got your survival elements. Maybe you got like a beat down like police car that you got to keep finding gas for. So you got to keep like stopping at little like settlements or like houses and like exploring them. Like, I think it could be really, really dope. I really cannot wait for Monster Hunter Wilds. Like, that 2025. It's weird for me to be at a point in my life where GTA isn't what I'm most excited for in 2025. And it's mostly just because I know that shit will be gas and I know it's going to be fun and I know GTA is going to be a great time. But I'm excited for Monster Hunter, man. I'm excited for Monster Hunter and Death Stranding. Those are like two games that they're just so like they're gems that don't get enough attention. GTA 5 will stop the world. I mean, GTA 6 will stop the world. We know that. But a Monster Hunter Wild, seeing somebody like play that for the first time, or seeing like a friend of mine like streaming Death Stranding and people coming up to me afterwards being like, yo, I had no idea the game was like this. I thought it was genuinely just walking around and being like, no. Let me show you this experience. Let's experience this together. Or even getting people to play Monster Hunter for the first time, like getting my girlfriend to play and she's like, okay, I'm just picking stuff up. What the fuck is that? And then it's just like pandemonium. Like, just having those experiences is like what it really excites me, is like exploring these experiences with people and sharing that with people. I'm excited to see what an open world Resident Evil game is going to feel like, because I think that's one of the biggest things I didn't like growing up. And this is a me thing, not a game thing. I was always like, man, I hate that I can't fucking find more bullets, because I've literally looked everywhere and we're in a small ass map. I know that there are no other crevices that I can find to get more bullets for this gun. And having an open world, I think, is going to open up a lot more ways of approaching these games, because that's one thing that I love about Elden Ring. If I couldn't go do this over there, I could find my own little like corner where I could grind out shit, or I could work on getting better gear just so that I can like go and do that thing over there. So I think that's going to be really cool about Resident Evil, is I'm going to be able to, maybe I don't want to go to the main mission right away. Maybe I want to go find a shotgun or find more bullets for my shotgun, or just explore a little bit more before I go tap in over there. Of course, that is exactly the reason why I never finish games, is because I'm too busy finding everything else around it. But I think open world Resident Evil, open world Monster Hunter, just an open world RE engine, it's going to be amazing. And I can't wait for the other implications, like what happens when we get a Dragon's Dogma 3 in a big, because this Dragon's Dogma is open world, but imagine a bigger open world, because it's not saying that the game feels like confined, but you've got your paths, you got your mountains in the way, like it's very much a regular RPG. But imagine a bigger open world for a game like Dragon's Dogma, or a bigger open world for a variety of other Capcom. Imagine open world Street Fighter. I'm kidding, I don't want that. It's like, where did you drop?
Yeah, getting comboed the fuck out of him. I'm running away, nigga. Fuck you. What are you?
But no, I think this is a really cool step forward for them. And honestly, I just can't wait to see what they come up with. This is gonna be really dope for the future. Keep your eyes on Capcom.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't. Honestly, I'm excited to see what the application is, because I feel like it depends on what's going to be the relative narrative use, like what's going to be the area. Like, I mean, Village Village it wasn't open world, but it was definitely a lot of things that were a lot of different varied spaces that were across a certain area. I don't know what the relative size of that thing was or what comparative scope it had to other games, but again, they're not open world. They're not like, again, vast, crazy expanses. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it could mean, but if applied correctly, this could have a really big net benefit to what Resident Evil is, you know what I'm saying, and provide a different experience, but also, again, just gives a lot of a different perspective, which I think could be fun. It could be fun. Maybe you have a whole portion of Raccoon City instead of just one of those little areas of Raccoon City to deal with. And that could be a whole different game in and of itself. You go back to Raccoon City and you have the whole, again, area to experience. You have the whole city to dive through and go to nooks and crannies, and, you know, maybe have another fucking, what's the name, Mr. X be chasing you down, but through the whole city instead. Like, there's a lot of ways it could be sliced. I know there's the automatic hesitance to go open world. And I do too. I absolutely do too. I have that hesitance in my, you know what I'm saying, like my heart. Like, yo, I don't know how this is gonna exactly pan out. But the way that Capcom has the system in place, like looking at Dragon's Dogma 2, it could be an interesting turnout. It just depends on what the application, what the context for an open world setting is in Resident Evil. If it was necessary, I'd be like, okay, why the fuck? Like, we did not need open world. You know what I'm saying? And I will say that for most games. Why do we need open world in this shit? You guys are just wasting time and filling shit with fluff and filler. But if the world is actually a good additive to the context of the story, the characters, what we're actually doing, what's the point of why we're here, then I'm not going to discredit it. It's too early to say that, you know, it won't be a benefit to the Resident Evil game that's coming down the line. I can't say that, you know what I mean? But it could provide something really great. It could be something that's a giant, you know, time filler. And that's like, oh shit, why the fuck did we even do this? Like, I don't know yet. But the prospect of that and applying that, you know, that content from RE Engine and what Dragon's Dogma 2's done, that's an interesting prospect if you cook it right. It's as long as you cook it right, I think it'll come out very, very solid and people will find some way to enjoy it. And even then, this is my thing, strategy wise, they can probably take a risk and try something different with RE9, because you're probably going to you still have to remake Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil Code Veronica, remake Code Veronica, damn it. And you have a bunch of ways to still maintain the natural path of, you know, this is how Resident Evil games were. This is experience y'all know and love. But then you can also experiment and go a little bit off the beaten path within Resident Evil 9 and try something different. So there's an option for people to, you know, like it. And at least you can try. You have the wiggle room to try. You've made enough money off Resident Evil to try these things now. So if there's something that brings a different spin on the series, why the fuck not? As long as it's good, as long as it's fun, as long as it provides something that is different and fun, I'm all for it. So we'll have to see how it's applied. Again, I'm not going to discredit a way of playing just because we've seen it a lot of times before. Yes, it is trite, but if the same old trick is applied in a good new context, then people will applaud the trick. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as there's innovation there somewhere, we can work with that. That's my thing. But I'm interested to see where it goes.